the next short 15 minutes, I try to present our results about load profile and consumer classification. As you might know, we try to develop a framework in this Natconsumer project, which try to give third-party users, the same third-party users as Mika have mentioned in his presentation, a toolkit or tools or a framework how they could speak with their consumers and how they could work with their consumers to reduce their energy usage. Of course, this framework could also be used by utilities, energy utilities, or other companies. Okay, I try to go. Yeah. So okay, it's working. So shortly, the content of my presentation, I would like to tell some words about why we need to segment the consumers and show the flowchart of the segmentation engine we have developed in our project. And as you will see, we use three type of segmentation: low profile segmentation, socio-demographic segmentation, and an attitudinal segmentation. And I will try to present all of these very briefly and just not in the details, but in a little bit high level. Okay, why we need to make any segmentation? First of all, there are a lot of previous projects partly financed by the Commission, which showed that through behavior change between 2 and 15% of consumption reduction could be achieved. It's a very wide estimation, as you see. So the 15% is very good. 2% is not bad, but not too good. And the very important thing that if you try to give general advices for your consumers, these advices will be mostly meaningless for them. So you need to target the message, and in our project we try to make our messages as tailored as possible. So this effective counseling could stand on two pillars in this Natconsumer project. One is a multidimensional segmentation of consumers. I will focus on this in this presentation. And the second pillar is a natural language based messaging. This will be presented by the next presentation by Alex. Okay, here you can see the flowchart of the segmentation engine, what we have developed. As you see from the left, there are of course consumers, and we have different types of data from them. We have data from their smart meter, smart data, and also in this project we made some online questionnaires in four countries, and from these online questionnaires we have different types of data. For example, socio-demographic data. We know a lot about their appliances, and we know a lot about their attitudes. And based on these data sources, we can make a data bank, and from these we could do different types of segmentation. In this project, as I said earlier, we made three types of segmentation: low-profile segmentation, socio-demographic classification, and an attitudinal classification. The low-profile segmentation based on the data set gained by the smart meter, and we place consumers in low-profile segments which are differentiates daily, weekly, and monthly groups. And this segmentation presents how the consumers use electricity. Whether peak consumption is typical in the afternoon or in the evening, or if they consume more than the average during the summer or less than the average in the summer. it is very important to highlight that the low profile segmentation doesn't deal with the volume of the consumption. It's only deal with the shape of the consumption. The socio-demographic segmentation, the second one, it aims to deal with the volume of the consumption. So the low profile is about the shape, and the socio-demographic is about the volume of the consumption. So in this socio-demographic segmentation, we try to differentiate consumers by the volume of their consumption on the basis of data available from the households. For example, how big of their house, how many bedrooms they have, and so on. The primary aim of this classification is for us to find what counts as benchmark, or we could call reference group to a given customer. I will tell a little bit more about this. And the third type of segmentation is an attitudinal segmentation or classification. This could help us to define the argumentation when we try to speak with the consumers. Some of the consumers are more responsive to arguments around money saving. Others are motivated by environment aspects, while others could be attracted by new technological inventions. So every people is different, and we need to find the best way how to communicate with them. We need to find the best argumentation. First, some more words about the logic behind the low profile and socio-demographic segmentations. I wrote here three examples of messages which could be sent to a consumer. The first is, as you see, in peak periods, your household consumes twice as much as those households similar to yours. The second is, compared to a similar period last year, you could decrease your consumption by 10%. If you do that or that. The third is, households similar to yours consumed 12 less in the past month. So this could be core messages what could be sent to consumers about their consumption. And it's the first and the third message are in bold, because here it's not enough to know what is the consumption of the user. We also need to know what is the consumption of the similar households. So in here we need some kind of reference group, and when we try to make this reference group, or we call this benchmark group in the Natconsumer project, we use two kind of logic. The first is that the consumption curve of the given households or pattern has to be similar. The second, that the consumption volume of the given households has to be similar. Yes, so the pattern and also the volume. And low profile segmentation is about the first. We had smart meter data from 4 countries. These countries are Ireland, Hungary, Italy, and UK, and we also work with Danish data, so from 5 countries. But in this presentation, I will show you only 4 countries. And we made a segmentation of the energy usage by daily, weekly, and monthly consumption patterns. As you could see in the right-hand figure, in the 4 countries, the average pattern of consumption in the daily share and weekly share was rather similar, but in the yearly share profile there were some differences. For example, in Italy and Hungary there were a high summer peak, and opposite of that in UK and Ireland we cannot find this high summer peak. Of course, it's, for example, in Italy, it's because there air conditioning in the summer. We found 3 general types of load profiles and also some country-specific profiles. Very briefly, I don't go into details. There were a load profile we called double risers. This was the biggest load profile in Ireland and Hungary. As you could see, there they have two steps in their consumption, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. We have different type of actives, afternoon actives, evening actives, or late actives. For example, in Italy we had late actives. In Hungary we had afternoon actives. For this group, the specialty that they have one big peak, mainly in the afternoon or mainly in the evening, but they don't have this two-step type of consumption pattern as had the double risers. And we have a very interesting group in 3 countries called home lunchers, which has a very high peak around 12 o'clock in daytime. So probably one or more people in these households are at home, and they spend their day at home. That's why they have this interesting low profile. And there are some specific for countries. For example, in Italy there was summer peaker segment. You can see a very high summer peak in their consumption mainly because of air conditioner usage. And for example, in the right down, there's from Ireland, the winter spinners. These segments have a very high, very strong yearly pattern, and they have much more higher energy consumption in the winter and then in the summer. This is mainly because they are using electric heaters. This is about low profile segmentation and socio-demographic segmentation. Just a few words. The socio-demographic segmentation is a procedure that is built upon the low profile segmentation. So in all of the low profile segments, we identified different socio-demographic segments. We have used some kind of decision trees for this. The relevant variables are in these models: the household size, the bedroom, how many bedrooms they have, how many number of actives they had, or the dwelling type. So we mainly use these variables to make different segments under the low profile segmentation. And these two segmentation give the benchmark segments. The attitudinal segmentation is the third one what we have developed or worked in this project. The aim of this segmentation was to find the attitudes which may work as arguments to change energy consumption. For this, to find these attitudes, we have made online surveys in 4 countries. It's Denmark, UK, Italy, and Hungary. And we try to identify the most important factors. And based on these, we try to segmenting the samples what could be used for us to make arguments in our project. As you can see in the right hand, we had an initial theoretical model what we would like to use. After the empirical analysis of this theoretical model, we need to redefine the theoretical concepts a little bit, and based on this, we had identified some primary attitudes which are very important drivers in energy savings, and some secondary attitudes which are also important but not so important drivers. And based on the primary attitudes, we made the classification of energy consumers. Here are in this level the primary drivers. We had 3 primary drivers. One is a technological innovation driver. If it's about that the consumers, so the related questions look in more depth at the technology, and therefore whether a framing of energy saving messaging around technological improvement and new gadget would be appropriate. The second was here is the environment preservation attitude. In there, of course, the environment is a strong driver, so the messages could be focused on the environment benefits of energy savings. And the third one is the utilitarian approach or economic rationality, we could call that, where money saving is a strong driver. So message could focus on the financial saving of reducing energy usage. And this sixth one is the secondary driver. So self-expression, social pressure, responsibility, need for control, need for comfort, and then aesthetic value. And based on this, we identified 7 attitude segments. As you can see, the names of these segments are not so designed and not so interesting. We try to make names which are easy to use, and it is easy to identify what are the main drivers behind them. So, for example, the saving or cost-conscious or economic rationality arguments could be effective for segments 1 and 2. These are the 2 cost-conscious segments. The environment preservation can be used for segment 1 and segment 5. They are who are the moderately green, and the technological innovation based argumentation could be used by segments 3 or 4 or maybe 6. As you could see, the argumentation logic in the Natconsumer engine will mainly rely on these drivers. But for example, in the case of the last segment, the unconcerned, none of these drivers seem to be important. In this case, it's also possible to use the secondary attitudes. For example, in this unconcerned segment, the social pressure attitude could be used in the argumentation when we speak with the consumers. So the comparison with the peers or the other consumers in the same community could be used. So this is what we have done in this project. Sorry, 2 minutes longer than planned. So this above described complex segmentation framework add all the required inputs for the natural language engine of the Natconsumer project, and this natural language process will be presented by my colleague Alex next after me. So thank you.